So we go back a while back when I was first getting started with the group coaching and on a different platform. Now I've moved over to Volley, but previously I'd used Facebook and a number of other platforms. And I was working with a client, Ted, and we were going back and forth on one specific issue. He was really eager to get his book traditionally published. And I asked, why exactly are you so eager to get it traditionally published? And he said, well, I don't really feel like a real author unless it's been chosen or selected by a traditional publisher. And this is something that is very common for so many authors. You've written something, but you don't feel like an author. You just feel like somebody who's dabbling in writing or whatever the case may be. But in fact, you actually are. And once you get it published, you're a published author, whether you self-published it or whether it was chosen by some traditional publisher. But whatever the case was, Ted was starting to get frustrated, and he had been trying for a very long time to get a traditional publisher to choose his book. And he also informed me that one of the reasons he wasn't going with the self-publishing route was exactly because maybe there was just too many steps and it was so confusing, and so clearly he wasn't going to be able to do it. And in that, he was incorrect. So that's one of the things with the group coaching. We're able to go through your specific problems and barriers that you have, limiting mindsets and barriers that we're able to remove one by one as we move forward through the self-publishing process. So what exactly is the easiest way to self-publish your book? Well, I'm going to tell you 3 steps, okay? So the first step is you're going to need a book. You're going to need a manuscript for a book. You may have written it yourself, or you can pay somebody else to write, like a ghostwriting organization or companies that do that. So there's a couple different ways of doing this, or maybe it's somebody in your family or a child who's written a book, and you want to get it onto the market. See, you don't necessarily have to even start with a book you yourself have written. So any of these options are perfect. The second thing is you need a format. I use Juto as I'm going through my formatting process in order to get this going. And also on the manuscript, it should be edited as well. I make sure you run it through Grammarly. That's a very, very powerful tool. So this combination is really, really good in order to ensure that the book is formatted properly and is free of mistakes. So we're running through editors and these sorts of things as we're working forward in the self-publishing process. That brings us to our second point, which would be the cover creation. I like to go with Fiverr myself. That's the one that I prefer when I'm trying to figure out a cover designer. As you can see below in the description, my affiliate link to the Fiverr designer that I specifically use. It costs about $18 in order to get a cover. It's a really good deal. You just show her which covers you like, and then she's able to do it. But the secret answer of today, and this is the thing that is actually the most difficult, the thing that really requires a lot of work and is the most important when it comes to getting your books to sell, it is the title, subtitle that you're going to be using on the book, and that matching, of course, with the cover. But this title, subtitle, and the very first question I'm going to ask you, if you do a discovery session with me, or if you join my one-on-one program, or any of these other things, it's let us first start and see if we can find the top competitors for your book. You're thinking of putting a book onto the market. Into which market? Remember, it's not a market if you're the only one with the book there. You will be functionally a market, but to be a real market, you actually have to have buyers and sellers. People who are selling something in a thing. Like, for example, people who sell books on how to do puppy training. And then we have buyers. People come to those people. They have puppies. They want to learn how to train them. So they will buy the puppy training books from these sellers. Now we have ourselves a market. You have both sides going. Now, what kind of market do we want to see? We want to see a market where there's not that many sellers, but a lot of buyers. And Amazon gives us that information for free. And that's one of the reasons I use KD Spy. You can find my affiliate link below in the description. This is my #1 tool for figuring out exactly which keywords in your title and subtitle are so powerful. And if you're doing this correct, if you're doing this 100% correct, then when people read your title, subtitle, and look at that cover, which should also match the best sellers in your specific genre or subgenre that you're going into, they should know immediately what kind of book this is, what exactly it has to offer, and why I should buy it. So your ideal reader would immediately have a magnetism towards this book. It has one simple goal, is to get them to click. If a person does not, after looking at the cover, the title, subtitle, and the reviews, of course, but that comes later, if they do not click, they are never going to purchase your book. In fact, on Amazon, you won't see a buy now button on the search results. Well, I think on some products you will, but at least on the books, usually you have to click into the sales page where you actually see the description of the book and the author's bio, and you can go into the reviews. You can see the prices, all of these sorts of things that are buried a little bit deeper into that specific thing. But the thing is, you will never get there if your title and subtitle are off. And in particular, why exactly would that be the case? Because how exactly did they find your book in the first place? If you have a good title and subtitle, it's because the search results on Amazon brought your book up on that page. You're telling them this is a paranormal romance, for example, or this is a puppy training book. And so when a person types that in, your book needs to communicate that really fast so they know what kind of book this is based upon the cover. And you'll see that the best sellers within a particular sub-genre all are using the exact same covers, very similar types of colors. The colors are the same. The covers, the fonts, are there pictures on the cover? Is there a person on the cover? Is it sort of like an animation, like a drawing of some sort? You'll find within any given sub-genre on Amazon, they will have a pattern and they will all be following the same pattern. But how would you find that? Well, we're going to do the research by looking at the bestsellers. I use Katie Spy as my number one tool to take a look at those specific covers to figure out which ones are going to be, or not the covers, but the titles and subtitles, and looking at word clouds, which words are showing up in all of these in order to figure out what are going to be the best titles for my next book. And secondly, I'm going to look at the number of results for the keywords I'm thinking, my primary keyword for my book, compared to how many books are on that subject that show up in the search results for, like, say, Kindle books or paperback books. And then we look at how many are in the top 100,000 books on all of Amazon. And this is by far something you're definitely going to want to use time, the most important thing you're going to do in the self-publishing process. And in many ways, it's probably best if you could start with this step as your very first step. I know I put it as number 3, which is a bit crazy, but it is the most important step. And so before we even start writing the book, in a perfect world, you would actually start and say, am I even writing into a market, where you have hungry readers? You have a market that wants more and can't get it, which is causing the prices to go up and causing the demand to go up and the number of sales to go up within each of these areas. So you're able to sell your books at a higher price as well. So, but that's a different video when we're discussing pricing strategies. So, but I want you to get this point through your head, and most people do not pay attention to this. Most authors, they put books out there and cannot understand why it's not selling. The answer, if it's not selling, is because nobody knows what the value your book is providing, and they never even saw the book, because no matter what they search for, it will never show up. You're not targeting profitable keywords, which is by far the most important thing you could possibly be doing. But I went through a few tools, and I told you Katie Spy was one of them. But if you'd like to hear the whole complete set to the most underrated self-publishing tools, and I'm talking some free tools as well here, and inexpensive apps that make a difference, then check out this video here, and I'll see you over there. Thanks.